Most people think that there is only one way to fund a mortgage deposit, and that means saving for every single pound yourself. If you can do that, that's brilliant. But the truth is there are several ways that you can fund your deposit, and many buyers miss out because no one explained to them properly. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through 8 different ways a mortgage deposit can be funded in plain English without jargons, so you can understand where it might apply to you. So let's start from the most straightforward one, and that one is number 1, the self-funded deposit. Now, this is your own money, your savings account, your ISA, your side hustle, your bonuses, the money you saved over time. The lenders like this because it is simple and the money is yours. There is no condition attached to the money. The only thing that the lender usually check is where the money came from, so that they can meet the anti-money laundering rules. So keeping your record is also important. It is the most common route that most people, probably 90 to 95% people use, but this is not the only one. Number 2, we have the gifted deposit. A gifted deposit is the money given to you by a family member to help you buy and get on the property ladder. It usually comes from the parents, your grandparents, your siblings, and sometimes close relatives like your uncle or auntie. Most lenders, what they care about here is that the money is actually a gift and not a loan. That means that money does not need to be paid back. The person gifting it to you cannot come and claim any equity on the property, and most lenders are going to ask for gifted deposit letter to confirm this, and it is very common also for first-time buyers, and is completely acceptable by most lenders when you do it properly. Number 3 is the concessionary purchase. This one is less well known because concessionary process happens when you buy a property from a family member below its market value. Let's just take, for example, if a property is worth £300, but you are allowed to buy it for £270, that's 30% difference, and that can be treated as your deposit. Not all lenders will allow this, and the details really matter, but when it's possible, it can be extremely helpful. It often happens when maybe a parent wants to sell to the children, a family member wants to help a relative onto the property ladder. It happens in this situation. Now, number 4 is using equity. Now, equity is if you already own a property, you may have equity, which is the difference between what your home is worth and what you owe on it. That equity can sometimes be released. You can borrow against the equity. You can use it to fund another purchase, right? And this is common for people that are maybe moving home, upgrading or downsizing, or people that want to help their children to get their first home. Equity is not free money, but it can be a powerful tool when you use it responsibly. The 5th one is the tenant incentive scheme. This one really surprised a lot of people. Some councils and housing associations offer incentives to long-term tenants to help them to buy the property they already live in. This may be in form of a discount, financial support, a reduced purchase price. A tenant who has rented a council flat for like 10 years can be offered like 10% discount on the property price, and that 10% discount you can count towards their deposit. Now, you should know that this scheme is not widely advertised, and eligibility actually depends on the landlord and the location of the building, but they absolutely exist. So if you are a long-term tenant, it is what you ask and like, hey, does this, exist for me? Number 6 is the builder and seller incentive. With new build properties, the developer often offer incentives to encourage sales, and these incentives can include deposit contributions, right, cash incentives, and the paid legal fees, stamp duty contributions. Why this can reduce the cash that you need to bring upfront. Lenders need to be aware of this incentive so that the mortgage can be secured correctly. And then when you do this properly, it can make a big difference, especially if you are a first-time buyer. Number 7 is the family Springboard mortgage. This is a great option for families who wants to help, but they don't have that gift money. So instead of giving the cash, the family member will place the savings in a linked account for a set period, which is usually 5 years. The money will remain theirs. They will earn interest on the money. The money is also returned to them at the end of the term. Their savings is what acts as security for the property you want to buy. This will allow the buyer, right, to go on the property ladder very quickly and then without deposit. And it also depends on the product that the lender is offering you. A first-time buyer's parents could, for example, deposit £15,000 into a 5 years locked account. Now, the buyer will use this as a security to secure the mortgage, allowing the person buying to, get the mortgage at either no deposit or a smaller deposit. So, and in this way, the savings is not lost. It still earns interest. Number 8 is the joint borrower sole proprietor mortgage. This option helps with affordability, not just deposit. Example, a family member will join you on the mortgage to boost your borrowing power, but their name will not be on the property deed. This means, number 1, you still own the property, and they are just supporting you with your mortgage application. They do not have ownership to the property. And this is popular when a parent is trying to help their children. They can, help their children buy, but they are not owning the property. So finally, the biggest mistake a buyer makes is assuming that there are no options. Most people don't lose out on buying a home because they earn too little, right? They usually lose out because they don't have the right information and they don't have it early enough. The key is to understand what applies to your situation, and then once you understand it, you plan properly from day one. So if you are unsure if any of these options could work for you, that is exactly the kind of conversation that buyers needs to have so that they can move with confidence. So information first, decision later. Thank you, and see you on my next video. Bye.